Welcome to Bite Size Reviews, where we cut horror into bite-sized portions. Today, we're taking a stab at two 2020 horror movies. We have New Mutants and Swallow. It's rare that I get the opportunity to talk about a Marvel movie. I better take advantage of this while I can. And I have to admit, at its most bare bones, this is a very interesting idea. I like this idea of putting a bunch of superheroes in a horror movie. It could have been a great opportunity for Marvel to actually shake things up for once. Okay, so right off the bat, I'll just say that this plot is not original. In fact, it really reminded me of a movie that I've seen, once or twice or 3,000 times before, Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful. And bad.
We got this same setup where we have a group of teenagers who aren't being taken seriously for X, Y, or Z reasons. In Nightmare on Elm Street 3, it's because they're all mentally ill.
You're a sick girl, Kristen. If you want to get better, you must trust me now.
In New Mutants, it's because they're all literally mutants who have had troubles controlling their powers in the past. But regardless, they're all here, and now they're all, being hunted by dream monsters that may or may not be here, and oh my god, it's so derivative and obvious, and oh my god. But the movie was not supposed to be a plot-driven story. It was supposed to be very character-driven. The majority of the plot is just kind of following these kids as they come to understand their powers and what it means to be stuck in this institution. Arya from Game of Thrones plays a very cute lesbian werewolf, and she was very easily my favorite character in this movie. We also have Anya Taylor-Joy in what might not be the best movie she's ever made, but this might be the best performance she's ever given.
I'll see you in hell.
The rest of the characters, however, are completely without personality. Our protagonist is a Native American girl. I would be in full support of having a Native American protagonist that tries to honor the Native culture in some particular way. And I do think that that's what New Mutants thought that they were doing by having a basically Facebook page understanding of what Native culture is. If you've ever been scrolling through and you've seen those posts that are basically like, in Native culture, they believe this thing, then you also completely understand the Native culture as it's presented in New Mutants. There were a couple of cool monster designs here and there, but all in all, the lack of story and the lack of character was just too much for me to be able to recommend this movie. 2 smiling men out of 10.
This isn't the hospital. It's a cage. And now you're trapped in it forever.
Swallow is fairly straightforward when it comes to its story. We follow this young woman who's recently married into what appears to be a very wealthy family, and she's discovered that she is expecting a child. On the outside, it looks like everything should be perfect, and yet, she experiences this compulsion to swallow non-food objects, something known as pica disorder. One of the reasons why I really appreciated watching this movie was because as much as I have never personally experienced pica disorder, I have experience with a number of eating disorders, including anorexia, bulimia, and at times overeating as well. Coming from that experience, I know very much that a lot of these types of disorders come from a place of control. As much as the movie did not try to beat you over the head with just explaining why she does this, even she, to a certain extent, doesn't seem to completely understand. But you can very much see that theme of control. I feel like that was handled in a very mature way. Time and time again, you see characters steal that control from her in a way that I don't want to say was extremely triggering to me. It just brought back memories of times when I would be in similar positions and I would feel that same compulsion. I understand that a big draw to this movie is the body horror of watching her swallow these objects. And at times it does get brutal to see. But for me, I think the thing that made this movie more interesting than anything was just watching her journey. There's also this scene at the end of the movie that's a very emotional scene. But overall, this is just supposed to be a movie that traces this woman's experience with mental health issues and with this disorder. If this is something that you can find relatable, then I would 100% recommend checking it out. If it's not, then it's still a well-told story with a slightly slower pace. 5 swallowed pushpins out of 10. Thank you so much for joining me here today, my pets, and I will see you next time.
Welcome to prime time, bitch!
Although donating to my Patreon is unnecessary, it is hugely appreciated. As little as $3 a month could help me put out many more videos. In that note, I would like to thank Wilson L. Ricks III, Scott Falks, and Andre K. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. I can't wait to see you all next time.